Hello, my friends. How are you? Still wearing my steering wheel holder hat because I have not obtained super trucker status yet. Again, I need to regain that. That's what I need to do. But good to see you guys nonetheless. My chaotic week from hell continues. Yes, it continues. It's starting to calm down now. But this, guys, this week has been probably the worst week I've ever had in trucking in my life. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's not even that bad, right? It's just normal trucking stuff, but it's so much of it that it's just like overloaded my brain. And I just came off home time last week and I'm ready for home time again. I am wore out. I don't know what's going on with this week. I like left the house as a 10-year veteran of trucking, and I walked out the door, and I must have stepped into an alternate timeline where nothing about trucking makes sense to me anymore, because the whole world changed. Yeah, it's not me that's the problem, it's everyone else. The whole world changed in trucking after I took just a weekend off, and we are going to talk about that, guys, as I try to clear the stress from my brain. Does this work? I'm not really sure. We're going to talk about that, but first I want to talk to you guys about something else just real quick, right? I have decided what I want to do with my trucking career. As you guys know, I kind of like have trouble making decisions. I'm not really sure what I want to do. I just never can seem to figure it out, right? There was a time when I owned a truck, and I put it on with a company where I would go onto the load boards, I would call the brokers, I would negotiate my rate, and I would go take that load. And I went where I wanted. If I, if there were no good loads, maybe I'd take the day off. What I'm trying to say is there was a lot more freedom in it, obviously, as we all know. If I was out somewhere and I saw a load going to Denver, I'd be like, yeah, sure, sounds like I could go home. And that is where I was happiest in trucking. And I'm just completely, I like my company for the most part, but the problem is I don't really like working for companies that much anymore. They are a little bit annoying, if I'm being honest. My company, they do a little bit of micromanaging. They called me at 4:24 this morning to say, hey, did you know it's 4:24? And I said, and I think they were saying was, why aren't you rolling yet? Well, did you hire an adult truck driver or not? You don't need to call me to make sure I'm up. And it's stuff like that that's very frustrating. So I am going towards owning a truck again. That is my goal. And I have been saving up a little bit of money without entirely sure what my goal was going to be. I'm like, well, I should start saving anyways to get towards that goal. And I'm putting this on here to do it publicly. That way it holds me accountable, right, as I work towards that thing. And I don't have a lot saved up. As of right now. I'm going to do this on every Friday video from here on out until I've reached my goal. But as of right now, I have $2,519 saved. Right now, we know that buying a truck is a very, very expensive thing to do. You're talking 10 to 20 grand down, depending on the truck, right? That's your down payment. You could probably get less than that, but you're starting to get into a real high mileage truck at that point, real high mileage, and that could be a bad decision. So I'm thinking in the, $60,000, $80,000 range for a truck price. So yeah, you're going to need about, if you go 80 grand, you're going to need that 20,000 down on that truck. Normally, it's kind of standard for 20% down on a, what am I trying to say? 20% down on a commercial vehicle. And I had my math off there a little bit. So 80,000, that's 25% down, 20 grand. You get the point. And then you also want another 10 grand at least just sitting there. That way, when you're waiting for money to start coming in with your new truck you just bought, if anything breaks on that new truck and you got to put it in a shop and you got to get a motel room and you still got to cover bills at home, you have that all covered, right? So you're talking like up there, $20,000, $30,000 to be able to get into a truck, a good truck, right? Not one that's going to leave you stranded on the side of the road. So, like I said, I'm $2,519, and every week, every Friday, I'm going to update you on what that number is. Now, here's where things get a little weird, okay? This is okay. We're going to get through this. This can be okay. I'm going to put links in a pinned comment on the Friday videos where if you would like to help out, no pressure, you could do that. I'm talking like, you know, Cash App, Zelle, things like that. And then I'll keep track of all that, and every week we'll see what we come out to. Now, like I said, no pressure, but it is there if you feel like it. The absolute shit week that I've had, it's finally getting better. It's finally getting better. It's starting to feel like normal trucking again, but it's been really bad, guys. And this story does include some of my own stupidity, believe it or not. I bet some of you are completely shocked by that, right? This guy trucks and stupidity? Never, never. Of course, sometimes that happens. So, you guys remember my last video. I was so excited. I was finally leaving LA. I was 60 miles from a Love's, and I'm going to go to that Love's, and we're going to hit that Arizona line, and we're going to get the hell out of here, right? Well, that did not go as planned, because I'm dumb. That's the reason why. You guys know that I have a little bit of a fuel gauge issue on the truck. When I got the truck, it was a little bit off, which meant when you ran it into the red down there under the 1/8, you were going to run out of fuel. Found that out the hard way not long after getting this truck. You remember? I was broke down on the side of the road waiting for someone to come get me. Well, the fuel gauge problem has gotten worse. Ask me how I found out this time. Same fucking way. Same fucking way. It was well above. It was below a quarter, but it was definitely above an eighth when I'm rolling towards that Love 60 miles away, and all of a sudden, the engine dies on the truck. 13 miles from the Loves. Now, there's a part about this that I was incredibly, incredibly amused by. I was going downhill, right? And I figured, this bill will be cheaper the closer I get to the Loves, right? They must charge by the mile, you know, part of their charges are by the mile. And so I coasted for 10 fucking miles down that hill. That's right. When the truck finally came to a stop, I was 3 miles away from the Loves. Weird, huh? Because the last time I ran out of fuel, I was 3 miles away. Also, my fuel gauge problem got worse. How does that happen? I don't know. Well, to top that off, then I get a knucklehead for a tech from Love's. Yeah, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. You guys that are more mechanically inclined than I am, if there's a problem in this story, you'll probably be able to point it out. I'm not a very mechanically inclined person. So, he shows up, we're on the side of the interstate, and he says, it's going to be safer for me to be on this side of the truck. And I said, I don't care what side of the truck you're on, you know. I was happy to see him, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't watching what he was doing. I was in here scrolling through my phone, dicking around, right? And he gets the fuel in the truck, and he comes over, he's like, okay, go ahead and let's turn the key on, and then, you know, we got to prime the fuel filter. What I found out about this truck, it primes itself. Isn't that sweet? They must have knew I was coming. Yeah, they must have knew I was coming. They're like, get him a truck that primes itself, because he's a dipshit, right? So he has me do that a few times, key off, key on for a minute or two, however long, and then he's like, okay, go ahead and start it. Now, before I started it, I noticed a very weird thing. The fuel gauge did not rise at all, right? The fuel gauge did not rise at all. I went to start it, fucking thing wouldn't start, right? So he goes and fills up the fuel pumps, fuel filter, whatever, manually. Told you I'm not much of a fucking mechanic, right? And he has me start it, and it gets started, and he's like, hell yeah, sounds good. I signed the little thing. I'm off to the races, right? I drive not even a quarter of a mile. Not even a quarter of a mile, and the truck dies again. And he happens to be right behind me as I'm moving over to the shoulder. And he pulls up and he's like, did it just die? I say, yeah, it just died. So we go through the same process, and the goddamn truck won't start at all. And so I told him, I said, I did notice that the fuel gauge didn't rise at all. And he goes, huh, that's weird. And I said, yeah, that does seem kind of strange, doesn't it? And he can't figure out why it won't start. I obviously don't know why it won't start. And he goes, it must be your fuel filters. We're 3 miles from the Loves. He runs to get more, comes back, slaps those bad boys on, and guess what, guys? the truck still won't start. And I told him, well, I asked him at first, I'm like, these tanks level out, right? Because here's what I was starting to realize. He was on the passenger side of the truck. And I said, did you put all that fuel in the passenger side? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, these tanks, they level though, right? They're like auto level, and levels out the fuel across both tanks, right? And he goes, yeah, I think so. And I said, okay. It's just weird that the fuel gauge didn't go up at all. It didn't rise even a little bit. And he's like, yeah, that is strange. I said, do you have any more fuel with you? Now, keep in mind, this is like 6 hours after I made the call that I needed help at this point. Just with waiting on him to get there and then trying to get the truck started, him running back to the shop, all that stuff. And I said, do you have any more fuel? And he goes, no, it's all in that tank. I said, maybe we should have put some in the driver tank. And he goes, yeah, I don't know, man. And I said, I don't know either, but I got to be honest, I'm sick to death of sitting on the side of the road. I understand this is my fault, and you're just here to help me, but can we try one more thing? And he says, yeah, we could try one more thing. I said, can you run back to the shop and just bring back like 5 gallons of fuel, and we'll put it in that driver tank? And he goes, yeah, we could try that. He runs back, he comes back with the 5 gallons of fuel, puts it in the driver's side tank, truck started like that, and never had a problem since. Now, I don't know. I like I said, as far as I know, these tanks automatically level. I don't know what the process is of doing that, and it seems reasonable to me that if you put fuel only in the passenger side, it should level out to the driver's side, right? But I don't fucking know. I have no idea. And apparently neither did my Loves Tech, who then apologized for all the time wasted, and I went on about my day. But I feel like if that is a thing, I don't know if there's a primary and secondary tank. I know there's 2 fucking tanks, but is one of them the primary tank? Does the fuel pump pull just from one tank? How does all this work? I don't fucking know. So if it is a thing though, I feel like the Loves Tech should have known that. I feel like, but whatever. It was my own goddamn fault. I guess it's my own fault. This gauge doesn't work. So now I'm going to do the thing I was told not to do and I made fun of like a month ago. I'm never going to let this thing below half a tank. Remember, I was making fun of that? I'm like, that's goofy. You could just, why? You've got a whole other half a fucking tank. Well, because my gauge is a piece of shit. That's why. So all the people I made fun of, I'm still not sorry because it was funny, but you were right, okay? No, I'm not apologizing, but you were right. But anyways, so whatever. I got to that Loves. Luckily, there was a dirt lot across the street. It's like 10, 11 at night. Had parking. I was a happy fucking person. I'm in my truck, hanging out, chilling, talking on the phone with my thumbnail artist, when all of a sudden, there's this loud noise in my truck. It was cold over there, right? It was cold that night. There's this loud noise in my truck. I can't figure out what the fuck it is. I'm jumping around the truck, screaming like a lunatic, because I thought somebody was coming in with like a chainsaw, the way it sounded. And my thumbnail artist, he's on the fucking phone going, dude, what the fuck is going on over there? Are you okay? Lock your doors, lock your doors. I'm like, that ain't gonna help. The dude's got a fucking chainsaw. We can't lock the fucking doors, right? And then what I had found out was that my bunk heater just took a huge dump all over the place and it no longer works. My bunk heater just stopped working. Luckily for me, I was in a truck with a not working bunk heater, whatever company I was at. I don't even remember how long ago that was now. And that bunk heater didn't work, so I had a space heater in the truck that I carry with me. So that has replaced my bunk heater now in apparently a piece of shit truck that is just falling apart on me. I have no fucking idea. But that happened. And then the next day, pretty peaceful. Just rolling across Arizona. I got out there somewhere. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. Got up the next day, and then we got to head across New Mexico, right? What the fuck is going on with I-40 in New Mexico? And yesterday, when I was there, it was a really, really bad accident. It looked like 2 trucks eastbound that had smashed each other up pretty good. But that traffic jam was fucking horrible. Like, I mean, at least we're not the truckers that I don't know. I don't know what to say in these situations. It looked real bad. It could have been a fatality. I don't know. I didn't look it up, but looked like shit. I mean, at least we're not those guys, I suppose. But I'm on a fucking tight schedule now because I fucking ran the truck out of fuel and cost myself a bunch of hours. Then I lost a bunch of time sitting in that, and now it's kind of normal. Now everything's kind of normal. It's okay. But the things that I'm noticing about trucking right now, there's so much weird shit going on. I can't understand people that don't know how to maintain a speed in a vehicle. There was these fucking hotshot drivers, right? These fucking hotshot drivers. I know a few of you watch. Sorry that some of them are dumb, all right? Sorry that some of you hotshot drivers are dumb. I followed one motherfucker all the way across New Mexico. They like could not maintain a speed at all. He's hotshot. He's pulling a flatbed. And he was empty. You know how I know? Because nothing was on the flatbed. That's how I know. That's how I fucking know. But this dude could not maintain a speed to save his fucking life. And I must have passed that guy like 27 fucking times. And I was just getting fucking livid. I'm like, can you just... I know that pickup has cruise control and you're not pulling a heavy load. It's just the trailer. What in tarnation are you doing? Get the fuck out of the way. And I was finding myself just so goddamn frustrated with this guy because he wouldn't drive the right way. He has no business driving that pickup. It was way too much truck for him. That's all I'm saying. And I just was so mad, but I'm noticing that trend amongst truckers. And this is the thing that's confusing. Now, I understand things about trucking, okay, because I know what some people just heard, and I'll explain in a minute. But it's like it used to be last week in the old timeline that I lived in, where everything was different, apparently. It used to be that a truck driver could drive down the road and maintain a goddamn speed because he set his fucking cruise control. Now, every once in a while, you get a fucking bonehead out here that fucking doesn't know how, and we all laugh at that guy. We're like, fuck that guy. Well, I'm starting to notice a lot more truckers are doing it in this new timeline that I came into this week, and I don't know if you guys are being taught that in this timeline or what's going on. Now, the thing I wanted to say that I understand is I obviously understand grades, uphill, downhill. We don't know on a dry van or reefer. We can't even begin to estimate the weight of their load. So when you're dealing with grades, changes at speed are going to fucking happen, but it's happening on flat land. Everywhere I go is a fuckhead trucker that fucking cannot figure out how to maintain speed in his fucking truck. And it's so goddamn maddening because coming up on Amarillo yesterday, I passed the same truck 4 fucking times. My cruise control is set at my governed speed. So even if I am stepping on the gas, because we got the fucking sensors up front, right? You gotta hold the gas pedal so your truck don't automatically slow down. I'm still not going a different speed. I'm just cruising, right? And I just passed the same guy over and over. And I've noticed it all week. Everywhere I go, there's truckers that cannot maintain speed in their trucks, and I don't understand. I just want to drive down the road, guys. I just want to drive. Do you mind? This is my happy place where I just cruise down the fucking road. I just mind my business. Maybe I listen to some music or whatever I do, and I could just be at peace, right? But now I'm dealing with a bunch of fuckheads that don't know how to control a semi-truck anymore, apparently. And this all is probably in my head. It's probably because I'm so still fucking stressed out from how the week started that everything feels like way more extreme than it really is. But it's fucking frustrating, right? And another thing I've noticed, it's making me feel like I'm a rookie trucker now, apparently, is there's always trucks on the shoulder, right? And I understand that. The shoulder's there, you know, you got an emergency or breakdown or whatever, you pull over to the side of the road. But we're starting to see like every few miles is a truck pulled over in the shoulder. Are you guys noticing this, or is it just me? It's like every few miles. And I understand that trucks break down, but these trucks are pretty fucking reliable. They don't break down that much, right? They are not breaking down that much. So why is there a truck every few miles on the fucking shoulder? I don't know. I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking, guys, that a lot of guys are using the shoulder to take their 30-minute break. They're like, oh, fuck, hit the fucking dirt, you know, fucking holy shit, we gotta fucking take our 30-minute break. That's what I'm thinking a lot of guys are doing. And I mean, whatever, I guess, I think it's a dumb decision myself, but that's the only thing I can reasonably say, because I've driven trucks for a long time now, and I broke down quite a few times, right? But trucks are way more reliable than that. They're not breaking down like that. There's no fucking way. But the worst part about it, here's the worst part about it. Have you guys noticed this fucking trend lately? When they are stopped on the shoulder, when they're ready to go, no acceleration. From the shoulder to the traffic lane, without even bothering to accelerate or check their mirrors. I think I almost took out 2 trucks yesterday that did the exact same thing. Now, I know some people are saying, Josh, you're supposed to be in the left lane when there's a truck on the shoulder. You are correct. You should move over and give that driver some room, but you can't always do that. You got somebody next to you, and you're just kind of stuck there. So you give them as much room as you can, slow the truck down a little bit, all those things, right? But I had at least 2 people excuse me, at least 2 people yesterday that went from 0 to in the fucking traffic lane right next to me. Never checked their mirrors, never did anything. And it's fucking crazy, right? I think if you want to die out here as a trucker, if you're making the decision to do something stupid to get you killed, and that's what you want to do, fucking have at it, by all means, if that's what you want to do. But taking other motherfuckers out because you're just not fucking paying attention, I think that's unacceptable. I think it's a little fucking uncalled for with doing the silly shit out here, right? Has anyone else noticed that, or is it just me? I don't know, but it's been happening quite a bit. Do I have anything else to complain about? One day I'm going to show up on YouTube in a fucking good mood and shock you all. Yeah, I'm going to surprise the hell out of you when I get on here and I have a smile on my face. Yeah, and I'm just happy to fucking be, well, I'm happy to be on YouTube. I like being on YouTube. but I am just beyond frustrated with the fucking week I've had. I'm ready to go home. I just want to take time off again. Fucking, we'll recharge. Hopefully I go home, step out of the house and into a fucking timeline that makes sense again, because this is all absolute bullshit. That's all I got for now. I gotta go. I need a shower. That reminds me, I'm still here for a few more minutes. Apparently, I lost track of time, or maybe I'm having a little bout with depression over here or something. I realized that I was 5 days after I'd left the house, I was still wearing the same clothes I left the house with. I had not showered. I had not changed my clothes. And I went, what the fuck am I doing? And then I finally went and got myself a shower. I don't know what that was even about. I'm like, that many days passed already? Holy shit. Because I go every other day, like, at the most, to get a shower, you know? And I don't know, man. My head's not right. That's what's going on. There's something broken in my brain right now. Hopefully I can get that fixed. I don't know. See you guys soon.